We have only one life. First, equip yourself for the job. Make full use of your talents and then love and enjoy the work that you do, making the most out of being out of doors and in contact with nature. These are the words of Anna Mani. Mani overcame numerous hurdles to become a prominent meteorologist. Her work to understand and measure the ozone layer in our atmosphere would later lay the groundwork for us to prevent a climate catastrophe and help protect our planet. You may have heard about the ozone layer before. Maybe you've heard that the ozone layer has a hole above Australia, or that some days you need to wear more sunscreen because there are higher UV levels in the atmosphere. But why is the ozone layer so important, and what does it have to do with whether we wear sunscreen or we don't? The Earth's atmosphere has many layers. You can think of it like an onion, where each layer is made up of a mixture of different gases. The ozone layer of the atmosphere is called that because it contains large amounts of this molecule called ozone, which is made up of 3 oxygen atoms. Now, they're structured in a way that helps absorb the dangerous ultraviolet radiation that comes from the sun. Why is it dangerous? It's because this ultraviolet rays is able to get inside of our cells and then damage our DNA. This can lead to cancer. Without the ozone layer, the Earth would be constantly bombarded by this dangerous radiation. So we can think of the ozone layer as protecting us from this UV and thus acting as Earth's personal sunscreen, protecting all life on our planet. It took climate scientists a really long time to realize how important the ozone layer is to the life on our planet. One of the very first scientists to make that connection was a meteorologist named Anna Mani. Anna was born in Travancore, now called the state of Kerala, in India in 1918. In her community, it was tradition for girls to learn how to take care of households, become good wives, and take care of children. However, Mani wanted something more than this. Against her family's wishes, she was determined to study science. Anna Mani worked to develop instruments to measure weather phenomena such as humidity, rainfall, wind speed, and air pressure. But she also wanted to develop technology to harness solar energy for India. Soon, she ran into a problem though. There was no historical record of which parts of India got the most sunlight. So she decided to change course and take these measurements herself. In the course of her work, she began studying the ozone layer. To do this, she built instruments called ozone sondes that contain a chemical called iodide. When iodide sees ozone, they react chemically, and this chemical reaction generates an electrical signal. And so, where there's more ozone, the chemical reaction is greater, generating a greater electrical signal. Anna Mani attached these instruments to huge balloons and sent them 30 miles above the Earth's surface to the ozone layer. This allowed her to measure how thick the ozone was in different regions on this Earth. From her research, she was able to understand that this layer of the atmosphere is really critical to life on Earth. This realization came a full 20 years before the larger scientific community had any idea of the importance of this layer in protecting life on our planet. In the 1980s, the global scientific community discovered that humans were polluting the air with certain chemicals that was leading the ozone layer to get thinner. This discovery relied on the historical measurements made by Anna Mani and the technology that she developed. This hole in the ozone was a huge environmental crisis, because a thinner ozone layer meant that more of the dangerous UV from the sun was actually reaching the Earth. This discovery led to the regulation of certain chemicals that make the ozone layer thinner and were harming the Earth's protective sunscreen. Since those environmental protections passed, the ozone layer has slowly been recovering and continuing to help protect life on Earth. Anna Mani developed instruments that produce some of the most precise measurements ever taken of solar radiation. Her work helped lay the foundation for the development of green technology to help us harness solar and wind energy. Her research has helped India and the rest of the world realize just how much we humans affect our planet. Her work continues to inspire us to make sure that we leave the Earth just the way that we found it.